Hello guys, welcome to class today, and today we're actually going to talk about arithmetic operations on binary numbers. If you are new to the channel, please kindly subscribe to the YouTube channel Ultimate Mathematics Frederick, and also like our Facebook page. Throw comments and we are actually going to get in touch with you. Thank you very much. Let's get started. Arithmetic operation on binary numbers. When we say arithmetic operation, it simply means the additions, the subtraction, the division, and all those stuff that we know. So let us quickly start with the addition of what? Binary numbers. Let's take this example. Let's say I have 1 1 plus 1 1. And when we say binary numbers, it means that we are working in the base 2. So what actually is going to happen here is that since you are working in base 2, it means that if you get any number which is 2 or greater than 2, you are going to make that number, you are going to see the number of times that number is actually going to enter the base 2, and the remainder is written at the down, and the number of times it enters at the top, and it continues. Okay, let's continue. Let's get to the board. So 1 plus 1 here is 2, but since we are working in base 2, we are not going to put a 2 here. Yes, to the layman, 11 plus 11 is 22. But in binary numbers, you can't write your 22 here. So what you're actually going to do is that 1 plus 1 here will give you 2. So since it's in base 2 or in a binary number we are adding, it means that that 1 plus 1 here, which is 2, will now be what? We now this 2, the answer 2 here will now be worked as a remainder, and the actual times it enters. So that means that the 1 plus 1 here is 2, and we are working in what? Base 2. So how many times will 2 go into 2? That's what? 1. Remainder what? 0. So we are going to take the remainder, rather putting it at the answer column. Then we take the number of times it goes into on top of the next addition that we do, the number. So we've gotten a 0 here. Okay. So when we come here, we have 1 plus 1, which is what? 2, plus another 1, which is what? 3. So we are still going to ask ourselves that this 3 we have gotten, and we are working in what? Base 2. So how many times will 2 go into 3? It will go into 3 1. Remainder what? 1. And since this is the ending of the work, we can write it as the remainder as 1, and the number of times it goes into is what? 1. So this is the final answer. Let me still continue with a different example for more clarification. So let us take this second example here. Let's say we have 1 0 0 0 plus let me say 1 0. Adding these two numbers, what we're actually going to do is that 0 plus 0 will give us 0, and we should remember that 0 is neither greater than what? 2, neither greater than the base. So we put what? We put the answer here. Okay, then now 1 plus 0 will give us what? 1. And 1 is never greater than the base, so we can write it. Okay, then this one here, we can still put it here. Then our base will come. Okay, let us quickly get to multiplication, the multiplication aspect of binary numbers. Let us take the first example. Let me use the addition, what we did there. 1 1 times 1 1, all in base 2. All in base 2. Okay, so 1 times 1 is what? We are going to treat this as the way we usually do our normal multiplication. Huh. So 1 times 1 is what? Is 1. Then 1 here times this one here is what? Is 1. Let's not forget, we pick the second one here. 1 times 1 here is 1. 1 times 1 here is what? Is 1. Okay. So let's now add. So we have our 1 here. There is another problem here. 1 plus 1 will give us 2. And we know that 2 is equals the base. So it means that 2 will go into base 2 how many times? 1. Remainder 1. Since it's not the ending, we use the remainder as, sorry, 2 will go into base 2 1 time, remainder 0. There will not be any remainder. So we put the 0 here. Okay. And the number of times that it goes into, we bring it here to the next one at the top here. So now 1 plus 1 will give us what? 2. So now 2 will go into 2 how many times? 1, remainder 0. Then this is the one, the number of times it goes into. Sorry. Let us take second example. Example 2 here. Let me take 101 times 111. Don't mind me, I'm going a little bit higher, but I want you to get a serious understanding of the whole concept. So 1 times 1 here is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 1 is 1. You can see what's actually happening. You can see it, okay? So we are adding. We have our 1 here. 0 plus 1, we have 1. 1 plus 0 plus 1 is 2. So then 2 will go into base 2 how many times? 1, remainder what? 0. So the 0 you put here, then you put the number of times it goes into here. That's the 1 here. Okay. So now 1 plus 1 here is 2. So 2 will go into 2 how many times? 1, remainder 0. The remainder will be here. Then 1 will also be here. So 1 plus 1 will be 2. 2 will go into 2 how many times? 1, remainder 0. The remainder is here. Then the number of times it goes into 1 will come forward. That is the final answer. So let us quickly look at the third aspect. The third aspect, which is the subtraction. The subtraction. The subtraction aspect. Let us just take a quick example. Just one of them. It's very, very easy. 101 minus 011, all in base 2. Let us do this sharply. So we are subtracting. 1 minus 1 is 0. Remember, it's not greater than the base, so we leave it like that. 0 minus 1 is 0, 0, 0 minus 1. We still have our 1 here. Then 1 minus 0. We have, sorry, let us do something here. When working in base 2, 101 is base 2 minus 011 base 2. What's actually going to happen here is that our 1 minus 1 will give us 0. Yeah. Okay, fine. 0 minus 1 wouldn't be possible because we can't subtract 1 from 0. So what we are going to do here is that we are actually going to borrow this one And when we borrow in base 2 is 2. When we borrow in base 5 is 5. When we borrow in any base, even if it is 1, is then that base. So when we borrow 1 here, it's now what? 2. So we have borrowed this one here. So now it has come here to be the base 2. So 2 minus 1 will give us a 1 here. You see? Then fine. Since we've borrowed a 1 here, this is no more 1. It's now what? 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0. That is the final answer. Thank you very much. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ultimate Mathematics Frederick. God bless you. Stay blessed. I love you. Bye.